Hold up. Pi Network just moved 20 million tokens, and the crypto community is going absolutely wild with $5 price predictions for 2025. But here's the thing. What I discovered when I analyzed the community sentiment will blow your mind. We're talking about a potential 1,000% gain, massive whale movements, and technical patterns that could either send Pi to the moon or crash it to new lows. This is not financial advice, but what you're about to see could change everything you think you know about Pi Coin's future. What's going on, crypto warriors? If you've been following Pi Network, then you know the drama has been absolutely insane lately. I'm talking about community polls going viral, major token movements from the Pi Foundation wallet, and price action that's got traders on the edge of their seats. But before we dive into this rabbit hole, smash that like button if you want more deep dive crypto analysis, and hit subscribe because we're about to unpack some serious alpha that could impact your portfolio. So, here's where this story gets interesting. A popular parody account on X, and yes, it's a parody account, not the real Binance, dropped what seemed like a simple question. Do you believe that $PI may touch 5 USD in 2025? 1, yes, 2, no. Now you might be thinking, it's just a random poll, who cares? But this is where it gets wild. This single tweet generated 72 comments, and when I analyzed the data using advanced sentiment analysis, the results were absolutely shocking. But first, let's talk about what's really at stake here. Pi Coin is currently trading at 44 cents. That means a jump to $5 would represent an absolutely insane 1,036% gain. We're talking about turning $1,000 into over $11,000. That's life-changing money for many people. This could either be the opportunity of a lifetime or a massive reality check waiting to happen. Let me paint you the full picture of where we stand right now. Pi Coin has been consolidating around that 44 cents level, showing surprising resilience in a market that's been absolutely brutal to altcoins. But underneath this seemingly calm surface, there's been some major movement that most people aren't talking about. Alright, this is where things get absolutely fascinating. I dove deep into that Twitter thread, and what I found will shock you. Out of those 72 comments, here's the breakdown that nobody else is talking about. The bulls are loud. Between 42% to 56% of engaged users, that's roughly 30 to 40 people, actually believe Pi can hit $5 in 2025. These aren't just random hopium posts either. Accounts like at Nazarweb3, at Imzac80, and several others were posting links to speculative articles about exchange listings and development progress. But here's what's really interesting. These aren't just moon boys throwing out random numbers. Many of these supporters are pointing to specific catalysts. Potential Binance listings, mainnet completion, and ecosystem development that could drive real utility. The bears have valid points. On the flip side, about 21% to 28% of responses, roughly 15 to 20 users, completely dismiss the $5 target. They're using words like never and questioning the fundamental value proposition. And honestly, they're not wrong to be skeptical. The fence sitters. Then there's this interesting middle group. About 10% to 20% of commenters who didn't pick sides but instead shared articles or asked deeper questions about Pi Network's roadmap. These might be the smartest people in the room, but wait, it gets even more intense. While the community was debating price targets, something massive happened behind the scenes. The Pi Network team moved 20 million tokens according to PiScan data, and this has everyone asking the same question, what the hell is going on? Here's why this matters. Large token movements from team wallets typically create selling pressure. Traders see this activity and immediately think, dump incoming. But the data tells a more complex story. In the last 24 hours, we've seen 4.6 million tokens flowing into exchanges, while only 2.7 million are flowing out. That's a net inflow of 1.9 million tokens, which traditionally would be bearish. But, and this is a big but, there are rumors circulating about a major US exchange listing that could completely flip the script. Now let's talk technicals, because this is where things get really spicy. Pi Coin has been testing the 42-cent support level not once but twice. First in mid-July and again last Friday. And you know what? It held both times. This has created what we call a double bottom pattern, one of the most reliable bullish reversal signals in technical analysis. If you're not familiar with double bottoms, they're basically the market's way of saying, we've tested the lows, buyers stepped in, and now we're ready to move higher. The key level to watch, 52 cents, that's the neckline resistance. If Pi Coin can break through that level, we're looking at a potential target of $0.628. That's a 20% gain from current levels and would mark the highest price since late June. But here's the catch that's keeping me up at night. Let me be brutally honest with you. While 42% to 56% of the community believes Pi can hit $5, we need to separate hope from reality. Picoin isn't trading on any major exchanges yet. The tokenomics are still evolving, and without open market performance data, we're essentially flying blind. The $5 price target would require a market cap that, depending on circulating supply, could put Pi in the top 10 cryptocurrencies. That's Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana territory. Is that impossible? No. Is it likely without massive fundamental developments? Also no. But here's where it gets interesting. For Pi to reach $5, we'd need several catalysts to align perfectly. Exchange listings, major exchange support, especially Binance, Coinbase, or Kraken, would provide the liquidity and exposure needed for serious price discovery. Utility development, real-world use cases beyond speculation. Pi Network needs to prove it can facilitate actual transactions and provide value to users. Ecosystem growth, developer adoption, dApp creation, and merchant integration would create organic demand for the token. Market conditions, a favorable crypto market environment where altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin and capital is flowing into smaller cap projects. Looking at the charts, Picoin is at a critical juncture. The Williams %R indicator is sitting at minus 54%, which is neutral territory, neither overbought nor oversold. This suggests the market is in a pause, waiting for the next catalyst. The double bottom at 42 cents has invalidated fears of a drop below 40 cents, which is psychologically important for holder confidence. If Pi can break through the 52 cents neckline resistance, we could see that 20% move to $0.628 relatively quickly. But, and this is crucial, if that 42 cents support fails, we could be looking at new record lows. The risk-reward ratio here is absolutely critical to understand. Look, I'm going to give it to you straight. The community sentiment analysis shows genuine belief in Pi Network's potential, but sentiment doesn't drive sustainable price action. Fundamentals do. The $5 target isn't impossible, but it would require perfect execution from the Pi Network team, favorable market conditions, and adoption that we simply haven't seen yet. The 20 million token movement shows the team is active, but without transparency about their intentions, it creates uncertainty. Picoin reaching $5 in 2025 is possible but improbable based on current fundamentals. The community believes the technicals show potential for near-term upside, but the path to $5 requires developments that haven't materialized yet. If you're holding Pi, manage your expectations and don't bet more than you can afford to lose. If you're considering buying, wait for clear catalysts and confirmed exchange listings before making any major moves. What do you think? Can Picoin actually hit $5 in 2025, or is this just community hopium? Drop your predictions in the comments below. I read every single one and often feature the best analysis in future videos. If this deep dive helped you understand Pi Network better, smash that like button and consider subscribing for more no BS crypto analysis. We're diving into altcoin gems, Bitcoin technical analysis, and market psychology every single week. And remember, always do your own research, never invest more than you can afford to lose, and stay skeptical of any project making wild promises without delivering real utility. I'll see you in the next one. Stay profitable, crypto warriors. Important disclaimer. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only, and should not be considered financial advice. Cryptocurrency investments are highly speculative and volatile. The content presented reflects my personal opinions and analysis based on publicly available information and should not be considered as recommendations to buy, sell, or hold any cryptocurrency. Past performance does not guarantee future results. Always conduct your own research and consult with qualified financial advisors before making any investment decisions. I may hold positions in the cryptocurrencies discussed in this video. Cryptocurrency trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors.